and dribble.
The champ is here. I must be the greatest. The champ is here.
I'm going to continue to stand with the people.
The champ is here.
I will not lose.
I'm a bad man. I shook up the world.
Yes, welcome. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you were here with we. My name is EJ, and I got my man,
MH.
Yes, he is the DB of the show, and we are Black in Sports, giving the voice to the culture that won't shut up and dribble. Here interviewing the best professionals in the game in the boardroom, but today, man, we're taking you back inside the locker room, man, where we talk about all the things that are going on in the cultural topics. So, MH, you ready to do this?
Yes, sir.
All right, man. Today we're going to talk about the Olympics, man. Those rings that they kind of intertwine that represents all the greatest in the world, and they're dawning in Paris, man. So coming up, and it's a definitely interesting time, and where we all become a little more extra patriotic than we used to. You're interested in floor routines and the different other sports that don't get the main kind of talk like we usually talk about in the show, man. So just going to highlight a little bit of what's going on, man. So when you think of Olympics, MH, what do you think of, man?
Yeah, really a lot comes to mind when thinking of Olympics. I think I've said it on the show before, the 88 Seoul Olympics. I guess I got to see.
Right.
I was pretty young, but I was there. And then every year I remember moving into my childhood house that we kind of grew up into after we lived in some different areas. The 92 Olympics, I was a Dream Team Olympics, and I remember watching that kind of Olympics. The games that they did show was a little different back then, where you couldn't always get the shows or get the sports that you wanted. It was just kind of based on whatever the network was going to show you.
Right.
I do remember the Dream Team a couple of times on this little gray and white TV. Some of our listeners probably don't even know what that is. But yeah, it was a black and white TV. I watched the Olympics in a basement before we got all moved in. So really fond memories of the Olympics initially. I guess what comes to mind first is like track and field, women's gymnastics, and the basketball. Probably I would say my top three when it comes to sports. But what's some of your thoughts on the Olympics wise?
Yeah, and it's definitely, while we, attempt to, look at the other sports, those, main sports that are coming into, and we had a chance to talk about flag football is going to be there, right? So to see how that's going to, in 2028, change the viewing watch, we're going to be really anticipating in that or looking into that. And also depending on you have people like Joe Burrow that say they want to be a part of the games, right? NFL is going to let them do that. So that's going to be an interesting mix. So it's great, because it does take it back to the track and field, right? Because we have, the jokes about the things we grew up with Carl Lewis, right? Like Jackie Jordan Kersey, that's when you got to see them really highlighted and take off and show the world, who they are on that global stage. And I think the other thing that's really great is the medal count, right? Like, I don't know if that was always a thing, because I don't remember it as much when I was little as now. It's the ticker on Good Morning America, or when you open the front page of the newspaper, where's the gold medal count, right? So I just don't remember that being as big as it is now. And it's so if you do miss, a game, even though everything's on almost every channel is showing, it's full-time sports every minute. But the medal tracker is really a big thing that kind of jumps out to me when I think about it.
Yeah, and those you feeling like you have expertise at some sport that you probably don't watch. We could talk about Phelps, and
his stroke and his breath time. I don't know. Did you see the way he left the pedestal and
the breaststroke is his race. You don't even know how to swim. So I'm looking forward to that point of the Olympics as well, where we, to your point, be everybody's real patriotic at the time.
Absolutely.
We'll go from there.
And so I wanted to start a different way, but we brought it up, and it's so funny. Mr. International, who's on the show and on the live, I guess, a lot, and we were watching kind of, they've done a few, we'll call them documentaries on the Dream Team, right? and we were kind of watching a newer one that was out, and it was just a crazy, just like how much that changed the game, right?
For
It'll
sure.
never be another dream team. And like, there are already people comparing that this team is going to be, the next dream team, or it's like at that status for well, at least I've heard that. I don't know if you've heard that. And now it's some doubt, like, dream team was crushing people by 30 and 50 points,
All right.
South Senegal or the South Sudan, excuse me, that, just kind of waking people up and putting themselves on the map.
Yeah. No, I don't even think anything can kind of compare to this. To your point, it's just a different time. I mean, you look at the teams that our U.S. team is playing now, and Team Canada has maybe not the top tier NBA guys, but they got just as many NBA guys as USA, and France has some really good guys, and
the last two guys from
the
number one
Serbia, like Greece, like everybody has somebody that's like for real somebody in the league. So I don't think that was even comparison to what the original Dream Team did, and I think as great as LeBron James is, and I mean that with all respect, it wasn't Michael Jordan at his prime, and that was '92. That's off. The Dream Team was right after back-to-back NBA championships and Finals MVP. So this was like peak Michael Jordan, and I don't know if any athlete can kind of measure up to that globally at this point. And that's due respect to LeBron James too.
And that's the thing, right? So you look like part of the documentary, and I don't want it. Like I said, it was a great kind of going back to it, right, at this time where we're going forward. Right. Nike did a full banner of Michael in the right there in Barcelona, like in the square.
Yeah.
They had a security issue and they weren't letting him by. And then he's like, "Oh, Michael, I'm going to take this photo shoot." Like, come on in here, man. That's our bad. And I think the other thing is like, no one, come on, like I don't care who you were when you were singing that jingle.
Oh, for sure.
And the fact that like even in this documentary, like when they were joking about like Charles Barkley was like, because these are all alpha male, right? And they talk about the difference of not wanting, because they actually brought up like these guys playing together are not friendly during the season. Like this was the first time that they got to be, together and like, that person's not that bad, whatever. And then Karl Malone later comes and talks shit about Magic being in the league because he's like, I don't want to play against that fool. You know what I could get, Correct. So it's just funny to see that dynamic. And I think the other thing that we kind of watch is that, and we understand, is because now we're such a global society,
all right,
that you can touch, like people are looking at, Michael through Instagram. LeBron and all these guys through Instagram. So, and like you said, they're playing in the same league. So all that like, hey, let me get your autograph before you beat me by 50. Yes. It's not in the mix anymore.
It's a little different. And I don't know. I just think like, even like some parts of the documentary was mentioning like, you mentioned Michael and the Nike ad, and I think Team USA at that point, as all the sports represented by Reebok. So like to even think, and it's no disrespect to Reebok, but to even think Reebok would have that kind of partnership is like wild to think about now. Like Reebok's not getting that. They're not getting it with outfit, the entire Team USA. So like I don't know, just stuff like that. It's just a crazy era. I do wonder, like, are we gonna look back, hopefully all here 20 years from now, we'd be like, like this looks crazy. Like, right. I don't know. It's just, there's a lot of things about the 92. Like you mentioned Magic Johnson, and I think the cool part about it, him playing, we didn't really have the information on, his sickness, but that was like a thing of him playing. And I think there was a swimmer too around the 84, 88 Olympics that had some, like there was a lot of different.
Greg Louganis was that the diver that
Yep.
And he did it. No one knew he had it, right? And then it was like, well, when he split his head and went in the pool and all that.
Exactly,
man.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, like just to hear these these stories in like the early 90s, right? Kind of like, it is kind of crazy to kind of think about it, to be honest. And now, was that the 92 or was it the 96? It was the 96 Olympics, I think, that had, yeah, it was the 96 Olympics that had a gymnastic team and the girl with the hurt ankle.
Oh, yeah, they pushed her.
Yeah. She did her thing.
And landed on one foot.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
That was the time that we had, was it Gabby or was it Dominique Dawes? It's so funny. These names start coming back to you, right?
It was definitely Dominique Dawes. Yeah, I love Dominique Dawes back in the day. But yes, it was Dominique Dawes, and I remember it was in I think Atlanta. And I know, I mean, I've only seen Atlanta after the Olympics, but from people that I know that experienced Atlanta before, said it changed the city. Just hosting the Olympics there, and I don't know. It's cool. It's cool to think about now. Now that we're talking about it, it's just really cool that we're here at another Olympic Games.
And that's definitely my love to jump in for. Thanks for opening the door for that. But from the economic standpoint, man, when the Olympics come and it's not only the right for these places to hold them, right? It's a travel, a show off your destination type thing. So for you to say like the Olympics changed Atlanta, they still have the Olympic Park. It's funny that there's a Waffle House right there at the entrance of the Olympic Park. But hey, keep it American, right? Keep it to the South.
Locale. Yeah.
But they have that Olympic Park now forever and ever, and just kind of the memory of hosting the games. So this is kind of Paris getting to set the stage, like one of the things, like first opening ceremony that's going down the Seine, however you pronounce the waterway that they're going to be going on. So it's really, and it's it's kind of been politicized too, right? When they talk about other countries that have paid or how the IOC is involved in different stuff. So no, from a monetary standpoint, it's just amazing. And I know we're already starting to see what LA is doing to prepare, 4 years down the line. So it's going to be exciting. And then it always, like you said, which is a great point, looking back 5-10 years, how these developments change, the city, and then just how we view the games, right?
I mean, I think there was if I remember right, there was a bombing at the 96 Olympics, right?
Atlanta bombing, yeah. They did a documentary on the big dude. And they criminalizing him, right? The little security dude. I'd never watched the show, but I kind of got snippets of it. So different. Everybody has like stories, and like that's a tough one to kind of have. Right. But you're gonna have them security issues going forward.
I don't think so. We're in a heightened state of a lot of stuff right now, so hopefully security and Secret Service and everybody's on hand.
Yeah. So let's take it to kind of another strong narrative. Well, that I believe is a strong narrative. I don't want to, you can tell me how you feel with this. Is that the women are leading the way, right? Briefly, let's talk about the women's soccer before we get into the WNBA. But the women's soccer, right? Like they're going to, they're always kind of dominant in what they're doing, and like the men's soccer team need to figure that out. It just it's like Luther's curl; it ain't fully curled, it ain't all the way got right there, right?
Basketball. Stick to what we good at.
So moving on, we're going to stick to basketball. Definitely excited to see the women. They're on a roll too, right? The women's team. They had first of all, they're playing in their season. Take a break in their season. Go overseas. Go ahead, collect this medal, and then go back in and finish their season. So it's just amazing what they do. And they had like a shorter runway, right? And just think about being in that mental space where you have to kind of prepare to go. Like I'm battling you, Sabrina Nescu or in Stewie or whatever. As the New York and the Aces, our Aces players, and then like, okay, let's get this medal, but then when we come back home, I'm gonna bust that ass.
Yeah, no, it's got to be kind of tough to kind of do men's season, and I feel like, well, I mean, Caitlin Clark injuries, so none of them are really on the team, but I mean, for women's basketball, it's almost been like a baseball season length of time of just activity constantly going from the NCAA tournament to the draft to, they're regular in the regular season to now the Olympics and the postseason. I'm like, I'm sure Asia Wilson is tired at this point.
Right? Can I get a breath for the timeout?
Yeah, probably tired. But yeah, no, it's cool. They're gonna, they're probably gonna do their thing.
Well, they took an L. So from the All-Star in the All-Star game, so is it kind of like what they the college team to beat the 92 guys? Was that something? And then like they're just gonna go ahead and run through and get this medal. Like,
yeah, it probably meant a little bit more to the select team
mm-hmm.
Than it did to the the national team at this point. But it was good. It was a competitive game for what I saw of it. But yeah.
No, it was good to see him. And it's like I like the way the select team did. It was really shining to say this is the future. So it's like, hold on, they're gonna bust your ass, but hey, this is what we got in the gun. Yeah. We got loaded.
Yeah. Don Taurasi might be time to hang him up.
Yeah.
He was looking.
And your girl went off, man. The one that what did she say to you courtside?
Oh, you remember that? You remember that? Enrique. I was
when she was going off, all I kept thinking about. I think
she was. But she was. So she was pushing off. We were sat. EJ and I had courtside seats at a Aces game, and she was definitely pushing off. And I didn't think I said it that loud. I was like, dang.
Well, your voice travels a little different courtside, man.
Yeah, I didn't know the acoustics in the stadium let her hear exactly what I was saying. But yeah, she had some words back for me.
Yeah, she did, man. That was a funny moment. Good stuff, man. But no, she had a hell of a game. Good stuff. I think she just got married or on the way or something like that. So congratulations to all of that stuff. Great game. And so she's got the future Olympics. And we saw what the Batman and Robin did or whatever the villain and the Angel Reese and Caitlin did. So it was great to see them both break like records as a rookie at the All-Star game. So definitely dope. So moving on, I want to jump into gymnastics, right? So this is when we start talking about stuff we definitely don't too.
Oh no.
But shout out to Simone, man. Like,
go.
She's got a docuseries that I'm getting ready to get into, man. I think I watched an episode or two. Definitely want to finish that. But just remembering that she left the game, which was crazy, and she had a disease or a condition. A condition called the twisties, and like anybody outside the game, like I know what a concussion is. You know what I'm saying? I even know what turf toe is like, because at first we was kind of laughing like turf toe ain't really nothing, but once they dig into what turf toe is, this season it could end careers. So she had the twisties, man, and so for those who don't know, twisties is where Olympic people, like they're doing dismounts, flips, turns, and all that, and they don't know where they are in the midst of that, which can be trouble when you're trying to stick a landing.
Dangerous.
But not only that, man, the mental, and so. Looking into that first episode, it was during the COVID year. So she's coming in, being great, asked to be great. Like, how many medals is she going to get? What is she going to do? And then it's during COVID, right? So the first time their families and their support system cannot go with them. It was just a lot to put on her shoulders. And she took a year off and about to come back like, I'm here.
And so she's a little old. How old is she? I don't want to disrespect her age. I mean, I think she's a little.
As they say in sports, she's old for right, like whatever her profession is. So
yeah, I'm definitely going to get that. Yeah, she's 27, so she's not old, but
I mean, but how long are you a gymnast, right? Like, how long are you? And the fact that, like, the other thing that got me, when you do something in gymnastics, they name that. Like, no one's ever did. They call it after you. So it's like. She has 4 moves named after herself.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh yeah, she just attempted Simone or the Simone too. I'm like, oh, that's G. Like,
yeah.
When you create some shit in your sport, that's definitely G. So along with her, there are some people to watch. I know there's a whole lot of people of the culture that's really moving some strides, and it'd be definitely. Maybe we push like a top 10 list or something like that we post on social. But another Simone Manuel, she's coming up and swimming. Mm-hmm. Now we talk about not a lot of us in swimming. Hell, it's not a lot of us that fit the stereotype.
Sorry.
We're gonna get you. We're gonna get you lessons, man. I was just too late. It's not.
Yeah.
You know, it's too late.
I'm good.
But Simone Manuel was the first Black woman to win like an individual gold medal in swimming. She won it something in I think Rio was the first time she won. So looking forward to seeing what she kind of does there. There are definitely some younger folks coming up in the floor exercises as well. So we definitely want to watch them. Let's jump over to track and field, man.
Let's do it.
So track and field is definitely where we want to see some people, but no one's kind of really broke out. So I'm kind of keeping except for the 16-year-old, and I forgot to look his name up, but he was burning in and just kind of going hand. So I definitely want to see because I think he actually qualified, right? Like he did qualify, right? Mm-hmm. So it's definitely gonna be interesting to see what he can do because like there's just a lot of people that just. Because that's the 100, right? Like everybody, no matter where you are, like you want to see all the races, but you want to see the men's and women's 100. Hands down.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really interested in what's her name, Sydney McLaughlin.
McLaughlin,
yeah,
she got a hyphen too, so no disrespect for not getting the whole.
No disrespect at all. I always, I have those theories, and I'm gonna be careful about these theories.
The hyphen theory.
But I do have a hyphen theory about the track and field athletes. Like for some reason, when they get those hyphens, they get crazy.
Extra speed, extra whatever.
They get crazy. It doesn't work as well in basketball. And I'll leave the rest of my comments to myself on that one. But for the track and field athletes, when they get that hyphen, that's world records. So
well, that's the thing. That's crazy. Like to think about, she's running faster over hurdles than some folks is running straight, man. That's insane.
Yeah, the 400 hurdles, her times in that is just kind of crazy, honestly. Yeah.
So
I just hope. I truly hope, and I'm not going to even say that, but I just know how devastated I was years down the line when Marion Jones was Marion Jones. We found out what Marion Jones was on. So I'll leave it at that. I'm rooting for Sydney.
Nah. And then, of course, we still want the same names we hear, like Sakiri. See what she I always butcher her name, but see what she kind of does. She's been through a lot. Medal. Yeah, right. Let's figure it out and let's get it, man.
Yeah.
Some news in the sport. It was announced that LeBron James is going to be carrying the flag, man. I don't know how the votes come for that, or like who puts you up for nomination, but
he's got to be one of the oldest athletes competing. So shout out to him. He's got to be one of the oldest athletes competing.
Maybe that's what it is, right? Like, all right, man, we don't know if we're gonna see him again. Let's put him for first. But no, I think it's an honor. I don't know if that can be added to a credential in the GOAT debate because he actually ceremoniously carried the flag while Jordan carried the flag to cover her up.
Oh yeah, we got
sponsorships, right? So it's like they both carried the flag,
yeah,
technically, right? But who did it better? Anything else, man, as far as kind of like Olympics that you're looking for this year? Just that we didn't talk about. Because like I said, once again, I'm excited to see what it is moving forward. Of course, when the flag gets there. But, just like this other supports, like, I mean, we got a black rugby player, right? We got a black fencing, a young lady that's getting into fencing. There's definitely some tennis, people that, are going to be going. And so it's going to be fun to find out about them and hopefully, they make that name for themselves because this is the chance they get it. But, what else you thinking of what you're looking for?
Yeah, I mean, shout out to fencing. I mean, we know they offer scholarships there. So mine.
Let's get your fencing on, right?
There's a lot of different things that I'm probably looking at. One thing that is not talked about, but on documentaries they always talk about what goes on in the Olympic Village, which none of us have seen, but we've all heard. So I guess I'm interested as time progresses and we look back on the 2024 Olympics in Paris. How many Olympians were
birth or conceive. Excuse me, conceive.
Yeah,
Is what, right?
how many different what countries they're representing in the future. So I'll leave it at that. We're recording at late night, so I won't go too.
We're not going to do a BT uncut.
We're not doing uncut, but I mean, those kind of stories are pretty cool. I mean, I would like to, not for those reasons, but to be in the Olympic, to be in the village with all the best athletes across the world in their sport. It's got to be like a rare occurrence that probably only Olympians can really explain what that's like to represent your country, but these are really the top athletes in the world.
At all different stuff, right?
And it's always really cool to see them support each other in their different sports and recognize greatness. Whatever the sport is, you recognize competition and elite level athletics, and everybody's sporting is respect to all of them. So I'm really excited in that. And then we always get, because we're parents are born and who has citizenship where, you always get like somebody look like me on Japan or something like that, and just some random thing. So like I'm interested in that as well.
But that Olympic Village is like, there's been so many stories that came out of that, right? Like,
sure.
One year they said that the beds were really horrible, and I don't know if that was a COVID year. They had to like the fact that there's like handing out condoms and other things in the Olympic Village because they was just wilding out up there.
Yeah. I would say like some Olympic Games made the beds only like it can only hold like one person.
Wait, so they would collapse.
Yeah.
And then I mean, speaking of Olympic villages. The Dream Team were the only one of record that never stayed in the Olympic Village.
Yeah, no, they stayed somewhere else, right?
They stayed outside a hotel. I don't know how many miles, but they had to get bussed back and forth to different events and things like that.
One of the Olympic teams recently, basketball wise, they stayed on a boat or something like that too. Like the men and the women stayed on I can't remember what games that were, but yeah, this was recently that they weren't in the village as well. I don't know. Interesting, man. It's interesting to see great athletes compete. When is the opening ceremony?
I want to say the 26th. So like this weekend coming up, this next couple of days.
It's crazy how fast that's coming.
And then how fast it's going to go, right? Like it's going to be nonstop. They added, I think they brought them back. I don't want to say it was Kevin Hart and Snoop to do the NBC, like, I don't know, outside announcing. Definitely not going to watch their commentary when I'm watching the actual games, but I'm looking forward to all the memes and the clips that are going to come back from people catching just the stuff that they say. Like, if they're going to do that, like, you somehow got to get beast mode in there. Like, I want to see for the 2028 Olympics, I want beast mode to be a part of some kind of either pre or post game analysis, man.
I do not. Give me Give me Bob Costas that he sits in that one room and he just kind of recaps the day. Give me that.
That's all you want.
Yeah, I'm old, man. I don't need all you want to. Yeah, man. Make it feel like the Olympics. I don't want to feel like I'm watching with my homeboys. Like, just I want. But it's crazy. Like, how social kind of whatever media has changed the way we even view sports. I'm sure 90% of everybody's going. Yeah, exactly. 90% of people are going to watch the Olympics probably through Twitter, or just through, that kind of things, and won't even actually sit down and see whatever the actual, competitions are. So,
well, think about it, right? Like, so the NFL had the Peyton people, right? Like, they did that test, and it did so well that they brought that back. And it's like, I don't want to watch the football game with Peyton and his brother talking about and then bringing jokes and then bringing celebrities on to talk through the first half of the game. And it obviously did so well that I know the WNBA did it. I know because the Taurasi and Sue, do some of the bigger games. So someone likes that medium of watching sports. But like you said, if I'm watching a competition, sporting competition, I want to watch that thing. these two people compete, and the people that are knowledgeable that spent the time,
Correct.
Like we had Max Starks, he's like, oh, or who else we had? Someone was like, Steve. Steve was like, oh, like if you don't know, I had to learn about this game so I could properly, discuss what was going on, right? So I'm with you on that part, man.
Yeah, it's no disrespect to them, but this is the Olympics and this is the best of the best. I don't want to hear you watching the sport like me, not really knowing what's going on.
Like you tell me
it's a different world we live in.
That it's only one baton person twirling when we went to the halftime of the game.
What you mean?
When we were the UNLV game and the band came on and they had a baton twirler this
is a debate, right?
This is the debate. So I get, from that standpoint, I get exactly what you said, man. I don't want me and you debating about what's going on in the best of the best, man.
Correct.
Anything else for the people before we get out of here?
Nah, I'm good, brother.
Oh, man. Appreciate you guys as always. So, hey, as you know, thank you for listening. Hope you enjoyed the show. Hope you watched the Olympics, and what we always ask is, share what's your favorite thing about the Olympics in the comments, or, tweet the show out and kind of put what your favorite either sport is, what you like to watch, or what you think about the Olympics. As always, please stay safe, practice gratitude, and know we're rooting for you.
Screaming, all us blacks got is sports and entertainment until we even.
Assuming I'm rooting for everybody that's black. Yeah. Yeah. Assuming I'm rooting for everybody that's black. Yo. Look. Assuming I'm rooting for everybody that's black. Spent about 2 racks on handmade new rags. Assuming I'm rooting for everybody that's black. That's everybody from sports to college class to rap.